my name is Torge Petersen. In this video, I will show you an overview of the new guide and service tool features from 2024. Since Danfoss has released 4 new releases in 24, the video is divided into 4 sections. A complete list of new features and enhancements for each release is provided in the release notes document. Starting with the release 2024.1, you can see the main changes for guide and service tool. I will show all these feature extensions more in detail in the following. Starting with guide and the first important information about an implementation inside 2024.1. Any stored project with this new version is not backward compatible and cannot be opened with a guide version older than 2024.1. This is also mentioned inside the release notes, the table of common guide-related file formats. The SCS files format had to be updated. That's why guide version 2024.1 is listed as a breaking change. Guide version earlier than 24.1 can not open SCS files saved with version 24.1. The first feature inside Guide 24.1 is the support of the new available data types in non-volatile memory and diagnostic components, which has been expanded with floating types and also with strings and arrays data types. Floating points are very huge or very small, positive or negative number with a decimal point. This extension allows the user to set any kind of data type to a non-volatile memory component and make it available for diagnostic in the service tool. This was a request from customers since a long time to use floating point. Another added feature extension in 24.1 is a compiler update to support C++ code, which can be used for real hardware as soon as an HWD file with C++ support is released. This means Guide is prepared to support C++ code. And last extension in 24.1 is a new node for remote controls hardware added under programmable hardware, since this product will be guide programmable as well and can be used as soon as a guide compliant RCT HWD is released. After guide, let's have a look to the service tool features in 2024.1. Starting with the already covered extended data types supporting floating point and non-volatile strings, and the already mentioned file formats caused from the data type extension like P1 LHX, P1 MLHX for the downloadable file, and P1 PAR for the parameter transfer file. This means software written in Guide 2024.1 can only be downloaded to controller via service tool using this or a later version. Then there is protocol plugin KWP2000 that has existed previously but not officially released. This protocol plugin is primarily for OEMs who are creating service applications to be able to connect to non-Danfoss hardware and do diagnostic on non-Danfoss ECUs. So basic functionality, reading and writing parameters that the user need to define the diagnostic data file in ODX or JSON format. The ability to define their own protocol services in this diagnostic data file to be able to support custom services in these protocols. This configurable KWP2000 UDS protocol and how to define diagnostic data is described in detail in its own manual available in the service tool. And last extension in 2024.1 is the continuous service tool page loading improvements and optimizations launched in previous versions since 23.1 that shows a 5-time improvement in page load time in today's release, which makes the use of the service tool much more user-friendly. For the release 2024.2, you can see here the main changes for guide and service tool. I will show all these feature extensions more in detail in the following. Qt and PLUS+1. Guide release 24.2 is the first version which supports Qt. Qt is an application framework and graphical user interface toolkit for cross-platform development of programs and graphical user interfaces. So instead of programming your Danfoss display in vector-based screen editor, you have also the possibility to program your display with Qt and include them in guide applications. This feature requires HWD support. If you are more interested how to use Qt and Guide, please refer to the video 180 and 181. One of the new features in 24.2 is that the command line tool has been extended to support additional commands in Guide. It has been requested from a user so that it should be possible to set page properties, export, import pages, and so on. One example showing here is to set the function name property of this page using the following command. Call the guide executable. I specify the headless because I only want to run in command line interface mode. Then the new command set function name, and then you specify the source STS file and path to the page you want to change, and specify the value that should be added to the property of the page. Basically, we have a command for always every property here. Next one is a page view access property. As before, specify the new command, set page view access, specify the source SCS file path to the page, and the value, in this case, disabled. Another big command is export import pages, which allows the user to easily exchange screens or pages between projects, like using libraries of pages, updating your project. This command line extension opens for other use cases. You can type /? to get the whole list of supported commands. Like I already showed, set page properties, add test to a page, read page property, update POU calls and guide, and also screen definitions, generate architecture document, and you can run guide commands using this batch mode command. There you can create a text file, include all commands you want to use, and you can run the text file so that you don't have to run all the commands separately. And final extension in 24.2 is the URL for the +1 support form has been updated. So when you click on the contact help desk link, you will be directed to the correct +1 support form page. And in addition, the project field, in this case, guide tool, will now be pre-filled. And this refers to guide, service tool, and update center. Let's have a look to the service tool features of 24.2. Starting with some small script function features to make it easier for the user. 4 new script functions has been added with new variants of these get screen data by name. Before this, you had to find the index for your log signal or parameter on the page before you get or set data, like this comment with the index and the item you want. With this new comment, you just use the node address and parameter name instead, followed by the item. While this, it is much easier for the user to get and set parameter and script function also independent of the hard-coded index, which might change in service tool releases. Next small extension took place in the text lookup table, which now supports multi-line text, and also word wrap option for text lookup table entries. The lookup table text now supports this multi-line edit fields for the text entries, and you can see this new word wrap setting as well. In preview, I have this long text, which is one line text, and using the word wrap, it will be shown like this. And finally, the URL for the +1 support form has been updated, what I just mentioned. For the release 24.3, you can see here the main changes for guide and service tool. I will show all these feature extensions more in detail in the following. Some minor changes, like the feature extension updated user interface to look correct in Windows 11, and improvements related to DPI settings. The Arch34C compiler has been added to support C++ programming, but this compiler is not yet verified and is for evaluation only. And as an information, the previously available function generate S function has been removed from guide. FMU, the functional mockup unit function, can be used instead. The recently implemented Qt framework has been expanded with 2 additional Qt modules, location and positioning, which are used when debugging a guide application referencing a Qt QML project. If you are interested to see the supported Qt modules and guide, you can have a look inside the API specification of a Qt supported hardware. Here you will see all supported Qt modules. Another feature is PLUS+1 Operating System C API, which has been added so far into Guide 24.3. Until now, no HWD has been released yet, which supports OS C API. This feature enables Guide applications to interact with operating system and allows to access essential operation system services and functionalities. If a HWD provides C APIs, then these will be visible in the project manager, like in my example, which supports 3 APIs. Each API provides associated header files. These header files can be handled like regular header files that you have added to your project. You can open it by double click and you can make them available in guides to get the values from the API functions in your C code POUs. A new folder has been added in the code block tree called Available API Includes. It lists all the API headers that you want to include in your C file. Inside the documentation release notes, a new table has been added where you can check which APIs are supported. Currently, only supported API is the +1 types. A warning will be generated during compile if an API header is missing or used and not implemented by Guide. Instead, this header will be emulated by using stub function to ensure successful compilation. Let's have a look to the service tool features of 24.3, starting with some graph component improvements where it is possible to have multiple series with dragable points. In the previous version, we had in signal selection set up one series that we called added series, and then you could add a number of reference series. Now, from this version on, all series are equal and we just have series. Depending on that feature, the show lines setting has been moved to the individual series settings. The XY axis min max values can now be set independently of the parameter min max values. A not matching warning will be generated to make the user aware of the settings. This was a customer wish for his machine configuration to not use this large min max values by default and have a kind of zoom in where some of the values are outside of the coordinate system. This parameter min max can also be changed dynamically in script mode with the command st set screen component data. The show legend checkboxes has been added to the graph component properties to be able to toggle the visibility of the series. And finally, the point coordinates are now displayed in the point hints. In previous versions, when a script was called, a modal dialog was shown while the script was running to prevent the user from doing anything basically. A setting has been added to be able to disable these dialogs for each script function, which will be unchecked as default for new P1Ds. For older P1Ds, it will be checked. When this setting is disabled, a status bar indication is shown while the script is running instead of displaying a modal pop-up window. Also, a new script event has been added called after screen value edit. If this event is used in scripting, this function will be triggered each time a parameter value is edited in an advanced page. You can use this to perform some scripting depending on the value, like in this small example where this information dialog pops up anytime the value of this parameter has been edited using the event after screen value edit with its function format. Here you can see the main changes for Guide and Service Tool in version 24.4. I will show all these feature extensions more in detail in the following. A repackage of the licenses have been made in release 24.4 to make it easier and less confusing for the user. Therefore, the number of licenses has been reduced. We now offer a so-called free license so that users can try out the tool free of charge, and this is replacing the Express license with the same functionality. The name free license is also more clear to the user, and it does also not have a time limit. No need to continuously request for a new free license over and over again. Another part of the repackage is that features that were earlier enabled by add-on licenses are now enabled by the professional license. Guide functions that previously required the guide add-on func safety license are now enabled by the professional license. Guide functions like dependency view, test tool, version control, compare SCS, SIL2 compilation, traceability, and static analyzer and FMU as well. Same for the service tool functions that previously required the service tool add-on Service Tool Pro license are now enabled by the professional license as well. Service tool functions like CAN Explorer design, scripting toolbox design, and compare P1D. For existing add-on licenses or license users, it will look like this in the license manager. The license is grayed out and cannot be selected. For each outsourced license, there is a text shown inside the license manager as well, that the add-on functionality is enabled by the professional license in this version, and that trial and related add-on licenses are unsupported in this version. The Express version is now shown as free, and it says no time limit. Inside Service Tool Release 24.4, the two changes were made, which has been described already for the guide release in 24.4, the new license repackage of the free trial and add-on licenses, and the standalone executable of the license manager. The only feature extension in Service Tool Release 24.4 is that 3 new parameter menu script hyperlinks has been added. The use case for adding these new script functions is to hyperlink through buttons to menu items and do something before or after this action with just one button click. Like in this small example, pressing the button to perform a set default action and using the new hyperlink parameter to combine it with other functionality. When pressing this set default button, for example, I can call some functions that reset some parameter or do whatever and then perform the actual default action. Similar to this file import function, I can call this hyperlink that imports file and then I can do some action after that with just one button click. We hope that you found this video useful. Remember that PLUS+1 community help is available on the PLUS+1 user forum. Check out other videos on our YouTube channel or contact the PLUS+1 help desk. Thank you for your attention.